Please welcome to the stage with her speech entitled Looking Through Betty Davies' Eyes, it's Ellie Darvill, everybody!
September the 11th, 2001, a blue sky Tuesday, and I was working away from home in Cardiff when I had a phone call. It was my husband. He said, "Where's your mum?" I said, "Oh, she's on one of her trips. She's in New York." He then said, "Oh my God, now they're bombing the Pentagon." Well, 5 days later, I had another phone call. "Oh, hello, I've been trying to get through to you, only all the phones have been down." Well, it's been awful there in New York. I didn't want to hang around the airport, so I took myself on a trip round New England in the fall. Well, it's been wonderful. I've made loads of friends. Anyway, I'm back at the airport now. I'm just doing a couple of shifts with the Red Cross. You know, there's been some poor young people who've sat here for 4 days, so I'm just dishing out some water, you know, blankets. Anyway, I've got a flight tonight. I've checked. There is an air marshal on board, so I'll be all right. I'll be back home tomorrow. And she was. And she promptly booked herself a trip to the Canadian Rockies. Again, as a single traveller in her 70s. And that was just typical of my mother. Her name was Betty Davis. Not that of the film star, but one for a very humble, working class woman from Liverpool. And the name Davis she acquired through marriage. Now, when my stepfather died, she came up to me at the funeral and said, "We had a trip to Mallorca booked. I don't want to cancel it, and I don't want to go on my own. Will you come with me?" "Of course," I said, "yes." Well, then there was no stopping her. After that, it was turkey and tinsel in Llandudno. Then it was the Italian lakes. Then it was Arizona and the Grand Canyon. And she funded all her trips with frugal use of her pension and little wins on the bingo and thunderball. And the Liverpool Echo did a 2-page spread about her. Why am I telling you all this? Well, when I was little, she was a great knitter. And every week we would walk to the wool shop in the village and she would dispense her words of wisdom to me. Never sit down on a public toilet. If ever the Russians invade, hide yourself under the floorboards under your bed. And if you're ever thinking of marrying a foreigner, do consider the Chinese. "Mum, I'm 6. "Oh, yes. And another thing, if ever I start to lose my marbles, smother me with a pillow and bury me in the Arboretum in Sefton Park." Well, I never had the chance. Because on April the 28th, 2007, a blue sky Saturday, I had a phone call. She'd collapsed with a cardiac arrest and dropped down dead. 1 minute she was there, and the next she was gone. And it's the way she would have wanted to go. But afterwards, when I was going through all her things, I found some papers. A prescription from the opticians and letters from the ophthalmologist. Now, she'd always been short-sighted, but most people's prescription when you're short-sighted is about -4 to -6, maybe. Hers was -19.5. She had a number of eye challenges and pathological myopia. She was slowly but surely going blind. Now, under some of your seats, there's a white envelope, and there's a lens in there which will give you some idea of what my mum could see with her glasses on. Just put that up to your eye and have a look. Now, she never talked about it. We never knew. She never said, oh, it's a shame for me, it's not fair. She just went about her business, smiling at everyone and making friends wherever she went. She never complained. She chose to do things in spite of, not limit herself because of. And we all have challenges. We all have things that happen to us. We all have situations. We all have our own idiosyncratic ways and things that have happened to us which are outside of our control. That's life. And nobody said it was going to be perfect. But we are all stronger than we give ourselves credit for. It just depends, like Betty Davis, how you choose to look at your world. Thank you.